Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, I have some pretty little cards that I want to share with you that feature a new product suite that is coming out on March 2nd. It's actually a product promotion, so it's an early release stamp set and die set that will be in the new annual catalog. So, we're going to play with that today. I'm going to give you a couple card ideas. But I'm actually going to show you a little card making technique. So I'm not really sure what to call it. So I'm just going to call it the double one sheet wonder. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this little technique, but it allows you to make 6 cards. So the 6 cards that I have here were actually created from 2 6 by 6 inch pieces of designer series paper. Hence why I called it the double one sheet wonder, because we're going to cut up both of those pieces of paper to make these cards. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. So these are the cards that feature, well, it actually doesn't feature the stamp set, but I'll show you the stamp set. So it's called Butterfly Brilliance, and it has all these beautiful butterfly images in it. And there is a coordinating die that comes with this set. So this, in case you missed it, this set is coming out next week. So it has all these fun little dies, but this is my favorite die because you'll notice that it matches the stamp. So it's one large stamp and all of the butterflies are together on this one stamp. So you just ink it up with one color, stamp it, and then you can lay the die directly on top of it and it'll cut all the butterflies out at once. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm also going to be using, so I'm kind of in this, I guess, this mood of using stamp sets that you can cut everything out at once. So I'm also going to be decorating the cards with the many messages images. So this stamp set is the same kind of thing. So it's one large stamp, and I stamped all of these greetings with one color, which was Bermuda Bay. So I stamped them all with one color, and then I cut them all out at the exact same time. Let me grab it here. What did I do with it? Here it is. So then I took the die from the set. So here's all the images. I stamped them all using one color. Then you take this die from the set and you lay it on top of your greetings, and then you can cut them all out at once. So it's pretty amazing. I love this die set. So if you haven't seen this, it is in the mini catalog. So you want to take a look at it because this particular stamp set that is coming out next week doesn't have any greetings in it. It just has, these pretty butterfly images. So you'll want to have some kind of stamp set to use to create greetings, and the many messages is perfect for that. Okay, so let me move these here, and I'm going to show you how I made these cards. So I started out with some of the pattern paper. So this is a new pattern paper pack coming out called Butterfly Bijou, I think it's called. So there's like 6 different patterns in here. Here, let me flip them over here. So these are the front patterns. Oh, there it is. I knew there was another one. So these are the front patterns, and then these are the ones on the back. So some really pretty pattern paper. And one of the cool things about the pattern paper, so much like the stamp set, you can use this die from the stamp set to cut out one of these pieces of pattern paper here. So I can cut out all the butterflies. Do you see how that fits right over the top of all these butterflies? So I can cut out 6 butterflies at once right from this designer paper, just like I can cut out these 6 butterflies at once using this die. I can cut out these 6 butterflies all at once using this die. You can do the same thing with pattern paper. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what I'm using today. I'm using all these little butterflies to decorate my cards. And then I'm just using, I think it's these two pieces of pattern paper from this particular pack. Now, the technique I'm showing you today, the double one sheet wonder, you can use with any 6 by 6 inch pieces of pattern paper. So I've already cut this, but I'm going to give you a couple little tips. So I'm going to make it look like I didn't cut it. So hang on a second here. Okay, so basically what I did is I took 2 6 by 6 inch pieces of pattern paper. And like I said, you can use any pattern paper you want. And then I cut them both up at using the exact same measurements. So you'll notice these two pieces are the same, then these two are the same. Everything is the same. Can you see that? So I cut them up exactly the same. So the first thing I did when I cut up my paper is I cut off the bottom first. So, like put it in your paper trimmer and then just cut off this bottom piece. When you first cut it off, it's 2 by 6 inches. And then I took that 2 by 6 inch piece and I cut it into two pieces. So I have a 2 by 4 right here, and this is a 2 by 2, and I just cut it in half diagonally. Then I took my remaining piece and I cut, which is 4 inches, 4 by 6. And then I cut a 2 by 4, a 1 by 4. Then I took this last piece here, which would have been together, and I cut a 3 by 3 and a 1 by 3. So if you didn't catch all these measurements, that's okay. I did link to the template. The link to my blog is in the description below this video. So if you didn't catch all those measurements, you can find the template out on my blog. So I cut the piece, I cut all these pieces from one sheet, and then I took another sheet and then cut it the exact same way. So it's the exact same measurements. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use kind of this busy pattern with a more subtle pattern to create my cards. So let me just show you here. So you can see I have the blue and then I have a little bit of the butterfly pattern mixed together. So I recommend, kind of choosing obviously two patterns that work well together, but kind of choosing a more subtle pattern if you're using a busier pattern like I'm using here. So basically the first two cards are going to be made with these first two pieces. So I'm just going to set these aside. And then the next two cards are going to be made with these pieces. And then the last two cards are going to be made with these. So you'll get a total of, do I have them on the screen? You'll get a total of 6. So you get 2 from each of these sets. So let me show you how to do that. So I just started by creating my 6 card bases. I'm just using white cardstock for my card bases. So I'm going to create these first two. So I'm just going to actually set those up so I can create them both at the same time so you can see them. So these pieces are the 2 by 4 and the 1 by 4. So basically what I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to do this because I have my little template above. I'm just going to mix and match them. So you can create them exactly the same, meaning I could take this 1 by 4 inch piece of blue and put it on this side and then use my 2 by 4 butterfly on that side. So it matches this one. So it's the exact same, pieces, and they're lined up exactly the same. This is your 1 by 4. This is your 2 by 4. But you can change the look of the card simply by just kind of rearranging your pieces a little bit. So it's the same layout, kind of, or same size pieces. I just changed the layout a little bit just to give it a little different look. So notice how, on one of my cards, that large piece, this 2 by 4 piece is blue. And on this card, the 2 by 4 piece is the butterflies. So by cutting out those two pattern paper, the 6 by 6 inch pieces of pattern paper, you can kind of make a mirror image of each card. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not confusing you too much. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to adhere these pieces, and then I'll show you kind of how, this changes the look of the card. So these are just, very simple cards. You can do this again with any pattern paper. You don't have to have the butterflies. Of course, the butterflies are pretty. So I'm just adhering these directly next to each other in the center of the card. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And the nice thing about using, the liquid glue is I can kind of scoot it around a little bit. There we go. That looks about right. Okay. So that's the basic background, I guess, for the cards. And then what I did, let's see, hopefully I did this. Hopefully I did this. I took a little 3/4 by 4-inch piece of Bermuda Bay, and I just tore this piece in half. So I like to do my little paper tearing. So this is just 3/4 inches wide, and it's 4 inches long. And then I tore it in half, and I'm using a piece on each of the cards. So for this one, we'll just kind of go right here. And notice how I'm using the same pieces, but I'm making the cards look different. So that's the fun thing. You can make your cards exactly the same, or you can make them look a little bit different. All right, so there we have our two layouts. And now I'm going to take my little butterflies. So I cut out all these little butterflies from that designer paper. And so I'm going to put one here. We'll put this one here. And then I'm going to use my greetings that I cut out from the many messages. So you can see how different these cards look, even though they're made from the exact same size paper pieces. Put that there. Now I'm just popping up my little butterflies and my little greeting here with dimensionals, just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension. And we'll put this on here. And then we'll put our butterfly in there. All right. And then, of course, we can add I have some little sequins here. These are from the Artistry Blooms from the annual catalog. So, oops. I can pick them off here. So I just decorated them with little sequins. So you can use, whatever embellishments you have on hand. Let me throw some on this other one here. Same thing over here, just using these little sequins. Oh, I have a sequin that fell off. Okay, so that's the first set of cards. So they're pretty easy, I hope you thought. And then I actually did a little decorating on the inside of each of the cards. So I used some of those many messages. So there are 23 different messages. Let me bring that back here. There are 23 different messages from this many messages stamp. So you can use them to decorate the outside, as a little greeting, and then you can put a little sentiment on the inside. So when I cut them all out, obviously I used 12 of them. Whoops. I got a sequin stuck. Obviously I used 12 of them because I have 6 cards here. So I used one on the outside, and then I used one on the inside. And then I did the same thing with this one. I'm so happy to celebrate these moments with you. Congratulations. All right. So those are the first two. And then let's see, we'll do the next set here. So the next set features the long 2 by 4 inch pieces. And then some short 2 by 2 inch pieces that I cut in half. So this is this is the 2 by 2 inch that I cut in half to make, oh, let's do it this way, to make my little corner design. So it's kind of a fun little design. And you can do it, you can change it up a little bit. So you can move your little triangular pieces here around and kind of change the look of the card. So we'll go ahead and adhere this first. So you can notice as I'm putting this together, I'm mix and matching those two different pattern papers. That's why I recommend, you know, kind of a busier paper and then kind of a more subtle paper. And then my little triangular shapes, I'm just going to pop these up with some dimensionals. I'm going to add some of these right away. All right, peel these off. So these little corner pieces, I just kind of like that look, you know, it just kind of adds a fun little design to the card. Kind of accents the colors in, you know, the designer paper. All right, so there's that first one. And then same thing with this one. So it's the exact same measurements. Whoops. I'm just using different patterns. So this time I'm using the blue in the center instead of the blue to accent. And let me get some dimensionals on here again. And then I'll show you how I decorated this one. So this is a great way to use up your designer paper. It's a great way to use your little 6 by 6 inch pieces to, you know, do some accenting on your card. Put that there. And we'll put this one over here. Okay, so that's the basic, you know, layout of the card. And then of course I added my little embellishments. So I have another little butterfly that we'll put right in the center here. It's not really a little butterfly. It's kind of a big one. And then I have another butterfly. This one's a little one. We'll just pop that up over here. And then again, I'm using those many messages just to add my little greetings on the front of the card. All right, so there you go. And then I can add my little sequins so that my cards look like this. So I just added those little sequins, the same ones that I just shared with you. And then on the inside, I again did some decorating on the inside. So actually I cut up another piece of pattern paper to decorate the inside in case you're wondering where this paper came from. So that's the inside of that one. And then I did the same thing for this one. Okay, so that's 4 cards. And now we will do these last 2 cards. So we will use the remaining pieces to create these cards. So these are the remaining pieces. They are the 3 by 3 inch pieces and the 1 by 3. And so here is how we are going to adhere them. So we're going to adhere that one like that. And we're going to take this one and put the 3 by 3 on top and put the little piece on the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So if you are just joining me, you can find all of the information for creating these cards and the One Sheet Wonder template out on my blog. So I've linked to that in the description below this video. So you can always refer back to that. And we'll add this. Well, I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way with this, but There we go. And then we'll just add some glue to this one. And this is our basic layout. So I've just lined them up right up against each other. Okay, so now for this one, I did the same thing as I did for the first cards I shared with you, except I used a smaller piece of paper. So this is just a 3/4 by 3-inch piece of the Bermuda Bay cardstock. And I just tore it in half. So I'm going to use a half on each of these cards. So for this one, we're just going to go right here, right across that seam. And then on this one, we're going to add it on the bottom just to kind of give it a little different look. So that's the layout. And now we get to add our fun embellishments. So I have a much larger butterfly that I'm going to use on this blue space here. So we have this guy. And then, where's my other butterfly? Here it is. And then I have a small butterfly that I'm going to put here. And then, of course, I'm going to use my little greetings. So the cool thing, I don't know if you've noticed, as I've been adding these little greetings, the cool thing about this set is that die cuts them all out different. So each one of the greetings has its own unique shape. So I thought that was just really cool. And then this one will go here. All right, so that's the last two cards. So let me bring them all back here so that you can see them. So these last two cards I just shared with you, I just kind of did the same thing. I did some decorating on the inside. And this one says, wishing you a year of magical moments and wonderful memories. Happy anniversary. So, so you have 6 different cards. Let me lay them out here so you can see them again. They were all created from 2 sheets of 6 by 6 inch designer series paper. So again, you guys can use whatever pattern paper that you have on hand. If you like this paper, this butterfly, I think I'm pronouncing it right, butterfly Bijou, this will be available starting next week. So you can certainly check that out. But again, you can use whatever pattern paper you want. You can use whatever greetings you want. Just follow the template and then decorate them as you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed these fun little card ideas. Be sure to hop over to my blog and check out all the details and the template for creating these. And I think that's all I have to share with you guys today. So I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I will be back again next week. Take care, everybody.